Hello everybody, my name is Shri. I'm one of the ad film directors and co-founders of an advertising agency called 8 Spades Advertising. I'm based out of Chennai, and over the next couple of minutes I wanted to talk about usually what does ad film directors or advertising agencies or the customers usually expect from voiceover artists, right? A bit of a backstory before the script comes to you. All of it starts with an idea, right? A company has a product or service to sell, and they come to us, and the whole idea, is where it starts. We go pitch the idea, the customer likes it, and then there is a creative team that sits down to write AV script, and that audio visual script is what given to you to render your voice. So when the script comes to a voiceover artist, I look for a few qualities, and I'm going to tell them in order that occurs to my mind. The first and foremost important quality that I look for is being able to read the script thoroughly, understand the creative ideation or the creative direction taken behind writing the script, and being able to ask right questions, because these qualities tell me that the voice artist is interested, is passionate, and is really looking at delivering what I'm expecting, or sometimes exceeding my expectations, because that's what tells me that you are in the game. Two, in my mind, it's fundamental for a voiceover artist to have a good diction, and along with good diction, it's important to also have a clear and concise rendition. It's important that you build over time, or you practice and build this capability to clearly, precisely pronounce and deliver the voice depending on the speed, because some videos require you to render a very subtle, slow paced voice. Some videos require you to do a little bit fast paced. Some maybe expects you to experiment a little bit to generate some quirkiness, etc., etc. So being clear with your rendition regardless of the format of the video is a very important skill. Third most important quality in my mind is being able to empathize through using your voice, because end of the day, all that we all try to do here is storytelling, right? We're all storytellers, and one of the most important artists in my mind in the entire filmmaking or the video making crew or set is the voice artist, because when it comes to videos that are voiceover led, everything is planned according to voiceovers. The visuals, the VFX, the duration of the shots, we always plan that according to the voiceover. And in my mind, this voiceover is the narration that happens. There's no other narrations. Sometimes we also use text to supplement and to complement the voice, but that's like an additional layer on top of the voiceover. But in my mind, the voiceover artist is critical when it comes to narrate. So we usually call them narrators, the storytellers. We don't want people who just read lines. We want people who can tell stories, empathize with the target audience, and being able to understand the emotion that exists, or the underlying emotion or underlying element that we want to deliver through each and every line. So that's a very important skill to possess in my mind. And fourth, and the most important skill that we usually won't be able to look for this quality in the very initial introductory conversations, but this is something that I look from the artists as we get into the dubbing theater, is being able to experiment. This is a state of mind in my mind, because you walk into a dubbing theater and oftentimes we all try to give what director wanted, but the reality is the directors may not be experts of the voiceover, although we all as voiceover artists try to deliver what to what the expectation is, or to cater to the requirements. Sometimes I've seen in the past the voice artists that try to experiment have always gone beyond the expectations. So the experimentation a little bit, of emotion. Sometimes people come to you and saying, hey, I'm looking for a happy emotion, and maybe a little bit of dramatic effect to that happy emotion is going to help. But that's something the director may not have wanted in the beginning, but when they hear that, then and there is always helpful. And this happened to me many times, and especially with Yogeshwaran, who is one of my favorites in Chennai. We get in the room, I ask for something, and he gives me that first, and then he also comes back and says, hey, why don't we try this, and I want to experiment this. And he does it, and sometimes I love it, and I just say that, I'm going to stick to it. So keep experimenting a lot, because that helps, because that also makes the director feel very comfortable that you're trying to not only deliver what we're looking for, but you're trying to also deliver beyond and above the expectations. That's an extremely great quality to possess. Although the last but not least, grammar, having good understanding of grammar is always a bonus or a brownie point in my mind. It's not necessarily a fundamental requirement, because it's the writers who write the script who must possess the grammatical knowledge and must be good with grammar. But when it comes to voice artists, this is a good to have, because there have been so many instances where I walk into a studio for recording and the voice artists always come back and say, hey, this line could be even more impactful if we tweak this a little bit, grammatically. And that conversation always gives me that confidence, because I have someone who's also looking at, from a target audience perspective and making it even better. And I sometimes take both the lines and I'll use what comes out best to me in the post. So those are the 5 most important qualities that look for, and reasons that I look for when I'm satisfied with those 5 reasons, and I look forward to work with that person again and again. And that's how I determine whether to work or not. And I hope that helps. And thank you so much for giving this opportunity, Yogesh, and good luck everyone. Thanks. Bye-bye.